Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Privilege Stacking series, and welcome to all of the new subscribers. I noticed that I just passed 24,000 subscribers. I gained an additional 200 subscribers over the past 24 hours. So, thank you for all of the new people that are joining the Pretty Girl Club. Be sure to get my Dark Femininity course. It is a 4-week long course where we will be bursting through those inferiority complexes. There are also a lot of journal prompts in there and stuff, so check that out. But if people are hating on you, it's because you're doing something right. And I want you to think about this. Who are your haters? What types of people are they? Usually, the people that hate on you, they are people who are beneath you socially. They are women who do not look as good as you. They are people who don't know how to self actualize, like they couldn't succeed for themselves, and that's why they're so focused on you. And you can always tell what that person is jealous of based on what they are hating on. Have you ever noticed that when you dress up, suddenly that's when people want to start talking shit at work? Or maybe ever since you got into college, now all of a sudden your siblings or your cousins or the people around you, they want to talk badly about your intelligence? You can always tell who a hater is based on their position in life and also based on whatever they talk crap about. Like, if they are a person who looks bad, usually they're going to be hating on your looks. If they're a person who's uneducated, usually they're going to hate on your education. You can also look at when they hate on you. Do they hate on you specifically when you talk about your successes or when you go on vacation or whenever you do a new Instagram post? Instagram is a really great way to see who your haters are. Starting a new business, buying a house, or having any sort of milestone in life, that's a great way to see who your haters are because your haters are never going to congratulate your success. Your haters will never acknowledge your success. And so, this is why I always say stop seeking validation from people who don't like you. A person who doesn't like you is never going to validate you because your presence makes them feel like shit. Your existence reminds them of everything they're not. So that's why they get mad when you dress up. That's why they get mad when they see that your business is growing. That's why they're upset when they see that you are losing weight and your body is on point, or your hair is growing, your skin is glowing, your teeth are white, your lips are plump and moisturized. Meanwhile, they're over here looking crusty and looking like big back beluga whales. Another question you can ask yourself is, where did these haters come from? Is there a certain archetype of women that always hate on you? So I noticed my archetype, my hater archetype, they are usually big back, obese women. They tend to be middle aged. Usually they are basic Bettys. I notice they all have a very similar body type. Their skin is usually dry and crusty. Sometimes they may struggle with drinking or substance abuse issues, or they have a history of dating men who are like very dusty. So I noticed that's my hater archetype. So that's another thing that you can do is start thinking to yourself, what types of women usually hate on me? Are they always women from the hood? Is it always white women, black women, old women, young women? Where did my haters come from? And also think about why people are hating on you. They're hating on you because you're special. They're hating on you because you're leveling up. It's because you knew how to take the time out of your day to invest in yourself. You actually wake up and show up for yourself every day. They don't. They don't even know how to show up for themselves and eat vegetables. So why would they be able to show up for you? They can't. They're not capable of it. They are not capable of love. They're not capable of loving you because they can't even love themselves. They don't love their body. So, of course, they can't celebrate your weight loss. Of course, they can't celebrate your body. They don't love their own beauty and their own appearance. So, of course, they can't celebrate your appearance. They don't love the way that their business turned out. They don't love the way that their YouTube channels turned out. So, of course, they can't love yours. Another thing that turns a person into a hater is feeling threatened. A lot of women feel threatened like they're going to be replaced by you. So this is why people get upset when you start your new job and like you're really well spoken, or maybe you're the popular girl in the office, is because you're threatening their popularity now. So they have a fear of being replaced. They feel like your beauty is taking away from theirs. So your beauty is replacing theirs. Your beauty pedestal has replaced theirs. Hating on you and tearing you down is an emotional coping mechanism. It's a way to cope with the fact that they can't measure up to you. So if a woman knows that she looks like shit, her way of coping with that is by trying to convince you that you look like shit. That is her emotional coping mechanism. It makes her feel good to tear you down. You know how some people say, "Oh, you should just go to therapy." No, no, no. Her tearing you down is her therapy. That is her therapy. It makes people feel better to tear you down. That is the way that they cope and soothe themselves. They feel satisfaction knowing that you feel like shit. They feel great knowing that you are now in a bad mood because they talked badly about your appearance or your business. And this is why you have to be very careful and always listen to what a person says too, because sometimes people, they will make these little comments. It's called negging, where they will make kind of a covert, backhanded compliment, like, "Oh, you don't look as fat as you did yesterday." So they're making kind of these covert comments to where you're questioning whether or not they're haters. They're doing that as an emotional coping mechanism. They have a lot of self doubt within themselves. And so they're negging you because they want you to have self doubt. That's the way that they cope with their own internal issues. People also hate on you because of their own social identity. So, I talk a lot about social status and social power. So, if you've got a hater and she used to identify with having social power, like maybe she identifies as beautiful, maybe she identifies as being smart, or she identified as being successful, but then she sees you and you are now challenging her social identity. She thought that she was supposed to have more social status than you because she's white, or because she has a lighter skin tone than you, or because she is older or has more work experience. So she thought that her social identity would take her further. And the fact that you're in the same place as her, or even higher than her in social status, that is threatening her social identity. So that's why she's hating on you. She's hating on you because she identified with a high social status, but then you came in not even identifying with that same status, yet you have surpassed her and she sees it. And so now she is questioning herself and she's confused. She's confused about where she stands in society in comparison to you. She's confused about her position in the office now because you came in, you're half her age, and you're more innovative, you're more creative, you have more going for yourself. So now she's confused about her social identity within that sector. That's why she's hating on you. People naturally categorize other human beings and place them into groups. You're black, you're white, you're tall, you're short, you're pretty, you're ugly, you're fat, you're skinny. So if you come in and you start breaking a lot of stereotypes, that's very scary to a person who has an inferiority complex. That's very scary that you are half her age and more successful, or the fact that you have less experience yet you're a lot smarter, the fact that you're a person of color or you're dark skinned yet you receive more pretty privilege than her. That's very threatening. People naturally have a desire for high self esteem. So if a person bases a part of their self esteem on being the pretty girl, and then you come in and you're just blowing her out of the water, you're just eating these hoes up because you just look way better than everybody. Well, now you just took away her self esteem. Her whole self esteem has been crushed by you wearing a red lipstick. Yep, because that's how fragile her ego was. That's how fragile her self perception was. And this is why I say that you should always have multiple sources of validation, always have multiple sources of self esteem. So you want to have as many things going for you as possible. You want to be pretty, smart, have a business going for yourself, be well spoken, be well read, be multicultural, have a fluid identity. Because that way, even if one piece of your identity falls apart, all of the other pieces of your identity still stand. But women who don't know how to receive multiple streams of micro validation, they get threatened when you come in and you're getting all the compliments. People are saying you're smart, they're saying you're pretty, they're saying your business is succeeding. Maybe you're a good mom, you're a kind hearted person. That's just way too much for your hater to handle. That's too much for the haters to handle. So that's why they are emotionally dysregulated. And so what they'll do is they will go out of their way to tear you down as much as possible. They will sabotage, they will make up entire stories about you and send emails about you. They will create fake accounts to leave bad reviews on your business. They will try to smear your name or drag your name through the mud as much as they can because they don't like the social status you have. They don't like that you make them feel invisible. They feel small in comparison to you. And so they're trying to bring you down to size. They want to cut you down to size. It's easier to tear you down than it is to build themselves up. Building yourself up is hard. It's hard to have discipline and show up for yourself every single day and wake up and do the workout or do the diet plan you were supposed to do. That kind of stuff is hard. And so it's much easier to just make negative comments and to just sit around and talk shit. It's easier to talk shit than it is to actually get up and start the business or to get off your ass and actually get on the treadmill. It's much easier to just talk shit about other people's bodies. Some people have hierarchy thinking. Hierarchy thinking is another reason that people will hate on you. Some people genuinely believe in hierarchies. They genuinely believe that the lighter your skin complexion is, the more you should be validated. And so if they see you as a darker person or a woman of color, let's say it's a white person and you're a woman of color, and they see you being validated for your beauty or validated for your identity, they get mad because they're like, no, how dare you be darker than me and get validated for your identity? I want to be validated for my identity. So they literally have a hierarchy mindset. They believe that you should stay in your place. They believe that you should stick to whatever stereotypes they have of you. And so, as soon as you start feeling yourself, as soon as you start becoming confident with your blackness, or you're confident in your darker skin complexion, or your yellow skin complexion, your caramel complexion, that's threatening. Because how dare you threaten the hierarchy that I've been living with for the past 40 years? You're breaking the status quo. That's why they're talking shit. It's because you're a star. I have never heard of a person who made history by following all the rules. I've never heard of a person that's been extremely successful because they stuck with the status quo. Any person that has ever done anything notable has pissed a lot of people off. So if you want to level up, get ready to piss a lot of people off. Get ready to make a lot of people mad. Get ready to cut off some friends and maybe even some family members. Get ready to cut off your job or potentially quit your job, because you leveling up is challenging the hierarchy that they have in their mind. And when I say people have hierarchy thinking, they're not always doing it on purpose. In fact, I believe that in general, people aren't having a hierarchy mindset on purpose. I think all of this is subconscious. Cultural biases is another cause of people being haters. If you think about a prejudiced person, prejudice, that just means that you prejudge someone. It means you prejudge them. Maybe it's based on their appearance, based on their race, based on their political leanings. So if a person subscribes to a mindset of a prejudiced group, like maybe a certain political group or a certain religious group, or if they have certain beliefs about work ethic, like, oh, you can only succeed by working hard. We all know over here that's complete BS. Working hard does not equal success. Some of the hardest working people die poor. So if you're challenging people's beliefs, if you have succeeded and it's been easy for you, or maybe you have certain privileges that have led you to success, whether it's pretty privilege or maybe your family is privileged. Maybe you had a family business. My family had a family business, and that's how I got to be an accountant with no experience. I was able to do accounting because my family literally owned a business and they didn't trust anybody else with the money. And so I became the accountant. So I literally got an opportunity to have hands on job experience as an accountant with no degree in accounting because of my family's privilege. That is the type of thing that somebody would get jealous of. Because there are some people where they went to school for 4 years and they still can't get a job as an accountant. So that's an example of having privilege. That's an example of somebody potentially having something they can hate on. You're challenging their beliefs about work ethic. They have been taught their whole lives that you have to work hard in order to succeed. And so if they see you taking all these shortcuts, pretty privilege, family privilege, dark skin privilege, light skin privilege, white privilege, if you're taking all of these different shortcuts and they see it, they're going to get upset. And this is also why I say to move in silence. Just move in silence, never tell anybody all the details of your life. because you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to prove your success to anybody. You don't have to prove your beauty to anyone. People hate on you because they're disappointed. They're disappointed in themselves. You remind them of every failure that they've ever had. They tried to start a business 5 times and they failed. You start a business once and it succeeds. That's why they're bad. They are struggling to deal with the disappointments that they've had in that area. So you are naturally beautiful, or maybe you learned how to be beautiful. You know how to do your makeup. You know how to do your diet and workout. You know how to dress for your body type. They don't know how to do that. They failed in that area multiple times. They are disappointed in their own beauty. And so they can't deal with their own internalized disappointment. And so your existence is a trigger. Your six pack is a trigger. Your face is a trigger. Your skin tone is a trigger to them. Or maybe in terms of relationships, you get a lot of male validation. You know how to attract generous men. You've decentered men, but you still have men chasing you. Meanwhile, they're sitting over here, male centered as fuck, and they can't even get a guy to text them back. They're disappointed. That's why they're hating on you, because they're disappointed in their own life. And so every time they see you succeed, it reminds them of the disappointment that they have with their dreams. This is why I say that the way to alchemize envy is to just remember that jealousy is like a compass. Jealousy is pointing you in the direction of your desires. Anytime someone is jealous of your relationship status, for example, it's because they are having a hard time dealing with the disappointments from their relationships. If they're jealous of your beauty, it's because they're having a hard time dealing with the disappointment of their beauty. When they do their makeup, they're disappointed. When you do your makeup, you slay. That's why they're mad. You trigger their anxiety. They're anxious around you, and so the way that they deal with their anxiety about comparing themselves to you is by talking shit. That's how they deal with their anxiety. When you walk in the room, she feels anxious because she starts thinking, oh shit, I didn't dress up today. Oh my God, I didn't do my workout plan. Oh my God, I didn't do my business. Oh, I'm not leveling up in life. So she starts getting all these anxious thoughts. Your success and your star power is triggering other people's anxiety. That's how powerful you are. That is how magnetic you are. That's how divine you are. Your existence is triggering somebody else's anxiety. People with a hater mentality always get mad at whoever the favorite is. So if you're the favorite employee, if you're the favorite girl or the favorite friend or the favorite sibling or any area where you have favor in your life, you're not going to have a lot of friends because people see that your life is easier than theirs. Some people think that life is a competition and you're beating them. So they're in a one sided competition with you and you are winning the competition that you didn't even apply for. A person who hates on you is always a person that has admiration for you. People never hate on someone that they don't admire. So you can take it as a compliment because it's proof that that person admires you. They admire your beauty. They admire your discipline. They admire your work ethic. They admire the way that you dress at work. They admire the effort that you put into your appearance, the way that you put yourself together, the way that your purse and your shoes and your accessories and your nails and all this stuff, they admire the way that you pay attention to the details about yourself. But the reason they're upset is because you remind them that they never dedicated the effort to get their wardrobe together or to dress in a way that makes them feel good. So that's what causes them to be a hater. Let's say somebody is jealous of your car. They're upset because they turned down the opportunity to get a new car. They didn't get the credit that they needed to have a nice car. Their credit is fucked up. They were scared of having a car note. They were scared of making the payments on the car. Anyway, have you ever had a hater? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.